Well, law and order in the TCL belt of Arunachal Pradesh still remains to be a matter of grave concern. Now, in yet another case of abduction, a Gaon Panchayat Chairman, or the GPC, was abducted by a group of 10 to 12 suspected NSCN-KYA rebels from Lazu Circle in Tirap district on May the 20th, just a day ahead of the Union Home Minister Amit Shah's visit to the district. Well, however, the incident has come to light only yesterday. GPC of New Kunthung village, Thing Laing, alias Tilak Hangphuk, was reportedly abducted in broad daylight around 9 a.m. while he was working in his field. Now, as per inputs, self-styled Major Wang Hodong is said to be behind the abduction. Now, the motive behind the abduction is said to be the alleged non-clearance of house and indent tax dues during Hangphuk's tenure as the GPC. Well, reportedly, the abductees' family members as well as villagers are trying to resolve the matter themselves by paying an amount of around 2 lakh to the abductors for securing the release of Tilak Hangphuk. Well, it may be mentioned here that at least 10 people have been abducted from the TCL region in the past 2 months alone. In most of these cases, ransom has been the main reason behind the abductions. And although security forces are trying hard to curb insurgent-related activities in the region by launching a series of counter-insurgency operations, militants too have stepped up their activities. And meanwhile, security forces have launched a search operation to trace out the abducted person. Sources inform that, like in the previous cases, GPC Hangphuk too might have been taken to a militant base in neighboring Myanmar. Well, joining me on the phone this morning is my colleague Ripunjoy Das from Dibrugarh. Ripunjoy Das, now let's look at the numbers here. At least 10 people have been abducted from the TCL region in the past 2 months alone, and that too against the backdrop of rigorous attempt by authorities to stem the tide. Now, the insurgents are clearly not giving in to the pressure from the authorities so far. Your thoughts?
Yes, Aaron, indeed, you are very much right on target because they are not giving up. That is the main matter of concern. Because see, at this abduction, which we had a delayed report yesterday only, was at a time when the Union Home Minister was in the same district, and that too at the broad daylight abduction by a group of 10 to 12 militants is definitely a matter of not only concern, I would like to say big concern. So, Aaron, this has become the trend for the last 2 months. As you said, the figures speak of themselves. 10 people have been abducted. And the normal trend is that they are being, after their abduction, they are taken to these UG's bases. I would like to add, Aaron, is that in most of these cases, the NSCN-KYA faction is behind. So they have their bases in Myanmar. So generally, they take the abductees through the Nagaland route to their bases in Myanmar. And then, since they considered it to be their safe haven, they started calling up people, the family members, negotiations are carried out, and finally they are released after a huge ransom is paid. So this is giving a very free hand to the militants, and despite the security forces trying their best to control and even root out this menace of insurgency from DTL, all efforts seems to go in vain, for the time being at least. Aaron.
So, Ripunjoy Das, what do we know about the whereabouts of Tilak Hangphuk as we speak since his abduction on May the 20th?
Yes, Aaron, whatever our sources and intelligence agencies are telling that there is a possibility that he might have been kept for a day in a village close to the Arunachal and Myanmar border. That is a triangular shape from where most of these militants sneak in and sneak out after carrying out their activities. So that is what we are getting from our sources, that he might have been taken to Myanmar by now, because that is not a far march of a distance. So they might have walked down to that village and cross over the border till now.